Welcome to Networking Arizona with host Carol Blonder. You'll hear interviews with businesses located throughout the valley. Networking, it makes a difference.
If I traded it.
So welcome to the show, everyone. I am so excited. Today's going to be Old Home Week. I have a lot of people who have been on before with me, and I like that because, you know, the reason why they come on a lot is because they get to help a lot of people out there, get some information out. My first guest who's been on with me, I want to say the last year or so now, I have with me David Fisher. He is the CEO of Landmark Capital, and, you know, every time you come on, yeah, obviously, you know, my eyes always get really big. I love the way that you kind of want to educate everyone. Please tell everybody a little bit about yourself, because for anyone that hasn't heard you, and what we're going to talk about today.
I've been doing this for 23 years, Carol. I am the CEO and owner of a company that helps people get educated with economics, and how one of many ways to protect them is through precious metals. In my industry, we have a A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, and we're certified members with them. Accredited members is the terminology. And in my industry, there's similar things, and I'm members of ICTA, Industry Council of Tangible Asset, which is kind of like the BBB, and we're in great standing with them. I'm also a member of the two grading companies, PCGS and NGC. I've had my own radio program in the past, and used to have started radio actually back in 1993 and filled in on a national network. Shook in my boots the first time, but since then I've got past all that. We've done it a few times, at least a dozen with you. And I was on national radio this morning, and I have regular talk show hosts that I'm with, and I believe in education. And I am shocked to death. Something has happened in 23 years that's never happened. In fact, I'm not a betting man.
I'm glad you're here to tell me, because I don't know.
I never thought this would ever happen. But everybody's heard this household name, a bank called J.P. Morgan.
Yes.
Okay. Not a whole lot of people know this, but maybe you do. But J.P. Morgan goes into different markets and manipulates the market by their presence. So does Goldman Sachs and a few other those what people call swear words on Wall Street. But J.P. Morgan has been notorious for manipulating and downward pressuring the gold market. In fact, there's been so many lawsuits against them, that entity, more than any other entity out there. It's never been proven in a court of law, but it's come close several times. So when J.P. Morgan says something says something about a market, that a market is going to move a certain direction, everybody pays attention.
Right.
Well, the gold market's been moving 20% so far year to date. And just 5 days ago, J.P. Morgan said on CNBC something I never would have thought I would have heard. They said gold has now entered a long-term bull market. And for people who don't know what that term is, a bull market is a market that's raging like a bull and is going up. A bear market is a bear. It's going to hibernate and sleep. So just simple terms. So J.P. Morgan came out and says, quote, "We're recommending to our clients a position for a new and very long-term market in gold," end quote. They go on to say this: 1,400 is very much in the cards this year. That would be about a 10% increase. That would put us at the 30% mark. I said on your program at the beginning of the year, gold is going to move 15 to 30% this year. We've moved 20%. It's going to move 30, and I'm going to say another 20% possibly, with all the things that are happening economically and financially, technically, and fundamentally in the world.
Well, something that you do that I want to get out right away and let you tell them, because it's important for people to understand what they can do with their IRAs and how you can roll them over and how you teach them how to do that. Go ahead.
Well, you know, there's this thing called a bail-in that has been done in 14 countries, which in essence is the countries get in trouble financially. And the last one just happened. I was like on your program talking about it. It just happened. The country of Austria did a bail-in, and their citizens that had money in their bank account lost 100% of their money. People that had stocks in the bank, that bought stock in this bank, and this was a major bank in the country of Austria, lost 50% of their money in the stock value. So a bail-in is where a country can't survive with their debt structure. And unfortunately, since 2008, still a lot of countries are not surviving with their debt structure. And even though countries are printing money, like the Fed is printing money, and the European Monetary Union has done the same thing, and the Japan now is doing the same thing. They're printing money, trying to get the economy stimulated. It doesn't work. You can't get out of debt by making more debt. It's just an insane thing, but they think it's going to work, but it's not. So what's happened here is countries have said, let's limit the debt of our country by having our citizens help out. Help out is the key word. And they go internally into their bank accounts and their pensions and retirements, and they seize portion or all of that retirement, and they give them back in return a government bond or a note. Unfortunately, our country thinks this is a great idea, and we're moving the same direction, and we've already tested the waters several times. And that's what this report talks about. Unfortunately, our country is not just entertaining, but setting it all up for it to happen, and it's legally now set up, especially through the law called the Dodd-Frank Act, and this report talks about it. So here you have a law that's passed, the Dodd-Frank Act, which is the biggest piece of legislation in the history of our country, that now the money that is in your account, brokerage and bank account, legally is no longer yours since 2012. It is now the government's for them to use as they wish, or the banks to use as they wish. And this is the crux where all this has started. Since then, they developed a thing called the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which in a month that was designed and created a government agency to protect you and I. They went before Congress and said, we think we need to manage retirements. The FDIC chimed in, and they wrote a joint paper, the Bank of England, the same year, 2012, December 10th, on the template, and you can find that out on FDIC.gov. I can go on and on. The International Monetary Fund, even the Wall Street Journal says they should take 56 to 71% of retirements, and that would fix the debt structure. Well, it probably would mathematically, but it would cause some other problems. And this is why I wrote this paper. And in this paper, it tells how many times the government has actually done their test. 5 times in the last 3 years, they've actually done test bail-ins in America already. And people are squawking over it. They're not a big upheaval. So they're conditioning us for this. So we have worked with a lawyer that has figured out a way where you can roll over your retirement, your 401k, your hard-earned money, and get it out of government's harm so that you can have that metal physically, not a piece of paper, in your hands, not in a third-party depository like most companies, but physically in your hands without a distribution called a tax, which creates a tax liability. So there's no tax liability. You're holding it in your hands. And this white paper I wrote that talks about how to protect yourself and the legal precedents that the IRS says this can be done. And you can do it cheap with our company for $350 in-state, $385. That's all the lawyer fee, while my competitors are $995 to $1,900.
It's amazing what you've done. And I don't like to use the word cheap, especially when we're talking about gold.
Cost effective.
Yeah, well, affordable. Unbelievably affordable.
Not the Affordable Care Act, though. Don't get me involved in that.
No. But what you have done is you have made it possible. A lot of people have called you and talked to you a little bit about how to do it.
Yes.
It's a process. You do free consultations for everybody.
Absolutely. We believe in education on multiple levels. And when it comes down to actually investing in precious metals, we have a whole thing called a financial blueprint. You wouldn't dare build your house without a blueprint. Why should you invest without a plan? And so we don't have a safe that has all this metal in it. I mean, a big vault in my office, in my company, but I don't store all this metal that everybody gets herded like cattle into and pressured into buying. We find people that want help, and people contact us, and we educate them on the distinctive markets, their choices, and the benefits and drawbacks to those choices. And the person, we feel, are wise enough, once they get the proper education, they can make great decisions for themselves because it's their money. And we help them be engaged in their money, and then we partner with them. Now,
we want everybody to have this. It's his white paper that he wrote. It's called The Coming Bail-In, How to Avoid It from Affecting You. Also, we want you to have the information on how to, private storage, a precious metal, I got to get it out, IRA, as easy as 123. We're going to open up our lines to the audience for everyone to call in for this, and I'm going to let you call throughout the rest of the show because I know we start talking about it, we go on. Our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll-free it's 1-866-536-1100. It's not an obligation thing with you. It is all about let's sit down, let's talk. Let me tell you what I have been researching now for quite some time. All of this is backed up with everything. You can check that out. And I want to talk a little tiny bit further about how you dropped, researched it. When we come back, we're going to talk further about some of the things that we're going to talk about today. And I'm going to leave my lines open for you all to call and keep on calling. Our number here is 602-277-5369. And toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. You can check him out on his website, and that is landmarkgold.com. You can also call them. Their number is 602-287-9200. But we want you to get this. We want you to have the white paper and all the information on how to roll your IRA into gold and how to do it affordably. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Would you like to come on my radio show and talk about what you do? I'm Carol Blonder, the host of Networking Arizona. I created a show where you can get yourself heard by thousands of listeners. You also get a podcast of the show so you can put it on your website. Heard Tuesdays and Fridays from 3 to 5 p.m. It's a drive time, prime time show. Call me and book your spot at 602-228-4629. Get the word out about what you do. Visit my website, networkingarizona.net. Freeze it, shrink it, shake it, shape it, bake it till you look good naked. ESOS is the place to earn that swimsuit body without the soreness, injury, or pain associated with traditional exercise. Call now to hear how you can be a part of this revolutionary body-shaping non-surgical process. Just off the 101 at Shea Boulevard, directly west of the PGA Superstore. Call 480-625-3100. That's 480-625-3100.
Women, are you going through a life change like divorce, death of a spouse, or moving into the valley? Are you tired of a financial professional talking at you instead of with you? Then you need to contact Heritage Financial Strategies today. Call 480-397-1184 or visit heritagefinancialaz.com. Shanna Tincham, registered representative, securities offered through Cambridge Investment Research, Inc., a broker-dealer. Member, FINRA SIPC. Shanna Tincham, investment advisor representative. Cambridge Investment Research Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor. Cambridge and Heritage Financial Strategies are not affiliated.
Do you have IRS tax problems? Are they keeping you up at night? If your tax problems are affecting your family life, you need to know you have options. Call Ted Watkins, enrolled agent before IRS, the tax expert who will handle your case. We negotiate settlements with the IRS, the Arizona Department of Revenue, as well as prepare past due tax returns. Call us at 602-363-1952 or 602-418-7308.
Are you missing teeth and want to smile again? Hi, I'm Dr. Linda Ma.
And I'm Dr. Boyd Patimus.
We here at Smile Innovations are all about your smile. We offer cosmetic, laser, and implant dentistry, tailor fit for your needs. Our number one concern is our patient.
For more information, visit our website at smileinnovation.com or call 480-418-2469.
It was just somebody calling about the white paper.
Smileinnovation.com, 480-418-2469.
I'm Luke Johnson, president of Legend Capital Group. We offer a unique
Yeah, we had that crazy guy.
strategy.
Yeah, definitely.
Excellent monthly returns outside of the traditional stock markets. Headquartered in Scottsdale, we have offices nationwide. My team of leading investment advisors provide best-in-class personalized service and world-class investment strategies. Call today for a complimentary financial review. 480
Here we go.
52930 or visit legendcapitalgroup.com.
If I traded it all, if I gave it all.
So welcome back. We are talking with David Fisher, the CEO of Landmark Capital, and we were talking a little bit about finishing off just real quickly about the rollover and how, because people may be just tuning in now from the break, about how you do that. And also, I want to also tell them about your, obviously do consultations with everyone. There's no charge for that. But I also want to remind you, too, that I know that you all like to work with our troops and all of that.
Yeah, we believe in veterans, and We've actually supported a film on veterans, on post syndrome, what veterans go through. And I don't know if you knew this, but every day 11 veterans take their life. And so Landmark Capital, a portion of the proceeds that we make as revenue goes to support veterans. And so this is a commitment that I've made with a gentleman by name of Stephen Tubbs that put out the film, and that came and premiered last November in Denver. And he's actually trying to make this film go nationally because most people are not aware of the traumatic mental breakdown that a veteran goes through when they come back from Iraq or Iran or Afghanistan, or even World War I or World War II veterans when they served in Pearl Harbor. Now we're finding out all the things that they're very similar, no matter the age bracket or where they served. The end result is the same, a very post-traumatic challenge. So our company donates a portion of revenue to this project to get the word out about what happens to a veteran and actually the healing a veteran can go through to help them get to on the other side of the mental anguish that they go through. So that's our heartbeat of our company.
We also want to make sure that everyone can call in and get the white paper that he wrote on the coming bail-in. It's how to avoid it from affecting you. Also, for the IRA, for having it physical metals and taking possession with no tax liability, which is something that I don't normally say, but now I'm going to say it more and more and more because I forgot about that, but that's awesome. So we have our lines open here for you to get all this information at 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Check them out. It's landmarkgold.com. You can also call them direct at 602-287-9200. Okay, so who's buying gold and why?
Well, we have institutional investors buying gold, hedge funds. Big hedge funds are buying gold, like Stanley Druckenmiller. He's the most well-respected hedge fund manager in my lifetime. He's been doing it for 30 years, and for the past 25 years, consecutively, every year, in other words, his funds have gained 30% or more every year. And we're even talking about the down years of 2008, 9, and 10. His hedge funds still increased 30%. August of last year, he said gold is a home run. I was on your program talking about it. And at that point, he bought gold. It became his largest position in his hedge fund. Now, some people are saying, well, hey, I want to get 30% a year. Okay, it's a closed fund. You're not going to, sorry to disappoint you, won't be involved in this hedge fund. But follow what the big money is doing. If it's already gained 20%, gold has year to date, and gold and JP Morgan is saying we're going to move 1,400, that's 10% more, 9 to 10% more. There's your 30%. Let's get with the picture, and I can help you out, understand that. But there's a lot of other people like Jeffrey Gundlach. He's also a very big hedge fund manager that's buying gold. And in January 19, he said gold's going to move 30% this year. And so far, Jeffrey Gundlach has been right. To be these big hedge fund managers and be well-respected, you have to have a big track record and have to have a lot of right types of investing over a long period of time to gain that amount of respect. So when they say things like they're saying, buy gold, they have
listen up.
They have the experience behind it. Listen up and follow what the big money is doing. But it's more than that. Countries and central banks are buying gold. The report came out just recently, about 24 hours ago, 23 hours ago. CNN Money section talked about what central banks are doing. They've been buying gold for a long time, the last 15 years, but they're aggressively buying gold, but they're also aggressively buying or selling U.S. debt. There's been the biggest sell-off in U.S. debt, which is treasuries, in the history of our treasuries since they've been collecting data since 1978. Let me read the quote. Central banks are dumping America's debt at record pace. China, Russia, Brazil are selling off U.S. Treasury bonds. They've sold at least $1 billion in U.S. Treasury bonds in March. And sales so far this year in the global debt dump has reached $123 billion. Hear me say that again. There's been $123 billion U.S. dollars of dumping our treasuries globally by central banks. Why? Because yields are down ridiculously low, and the Fed has backed themselves in the corner. They can't raise rates. The stock market tanked when it did it. Gold shot up that day in December 18th of last year. They can't lower rates. Gold will probably be around 1,500. The report came out in Forbes magazine if they went negative rates. They can't create another quantitative easing. They can't do anything right now. And the whole global system is in a financial debt structure that's unmanageable. So what's happening is central banks are saying, I got to get out of dollars. It's not paying me anything. And I got to get into something that's going to protect me in case we have a financial calamity. That's why we're seeing the biggest buyer selling dollars, buying gold. And, unfortunately, our Federal Reserve is not going to back our currency by gold. So that's why I say be your own bank. Do it something that won't be done for them, for you. You do it yourself, and nobody will going to manage your money better than you. Back your own currency by gold. Buy some gold. It'll give you peace of mind. And if they flip the switch and they do this thing called the bail-in, because here's how this relates. At the end of the day, somebody has to hold the debt. That's why we create debt, so somebody holds it so we can overspend. So if we're overspending at a record pace, and banks are not just buying new debt, but they're backing away from buying it and selling the existing debt, we just created a hole that our country now is financially falling into, that we have to create some incentive for the world to buy our debt. The problem is that the only incentive that we can create is raise rates. We just tried it, and it shocked the stock market. And the Fed is now waiting to raise rates, and the two criteria that the Fed is using to raise rates we don't have, which is unemployment at 4%. It's now 4.7. They got to get unemployment down to 4%. That's the yardstick that they're using to raise rates, and getting the economy growing at 2%, and we're at 1.3%. So the economy's not growing, it's retracting, it's shrinking, because we don't have the fundamentals or the technicals for the economy to grow, because businesses aren't making money, wages are going down, debt is going up, and we don't have a true recovery going on. We have a falsified capital injection of a drug called quantitative easing of money that says this is our recovery, but we're on the outside of it when they've stopped it, and we haven't recovered. So at the end of the day, somebody has to hold the dollar. And if the world is selling the dollar, that's where this bail-in comes in place, because the bail-in is tied into the Treasury. The bail-in forces Americans into holding Treasury's bill. It's a government retirement annuity. They even have a name for it, a GRA. This government retirement annuity would be seizing of wealth and forcing people into holding a government retirement annuity, and that annuity buys Treasury bills. So when the world is not buying it, they're wanting to move and forcing our citizens, our bank accounts, our retirements into this bail-in where we will buy the dollar because the world doesn't want it. So this is starting to happen. We're in the early stages of it, or maybe we're in the early stages of it possibly happening in your and my lifetime, but we're in the latter stages of it. Could happen any day.
Well, why would we want to do that? We need to listen to what people like you are saying, and take that information. It's just information, digest it, find out whether it's right for you or not. You're not here to scare people in any way. You're also don't believe that everybody should put all their money into gold either. I want to get that out a little bit for you. Go ahead.
I was accused of scaring people in 2007, talking about what was going to happen down the road when the debt structure of our country of leveraged money brought down the banking system and Lehman Brothers. I was accused on radio of scaring people, but I said the facts don't lie. You can't do these things without ramifications. And I'm accused of scaring people in this bail-in, but the facts don't lie. The report is true. They can Google everything in the report. I'm not here to scare anybody. I'm here to empower people with knowledge, and people will make their own decision. And I don't advocate they should put 100% of their money into gold. But if you don't take care of your money now, then it might not be down the road to take care of you. And that's what this is all about. Our country, according to the Federal Reserve, can do the bail-in any day now. And they said this August 11th of 2013. So this can happen, get my facts right, August 11th, 2014. Vice President Stanley Fischer said it in a speech in Europe. This can happen any day now, Carol. Do I know what's going to happen? No. But I know there's too many working pieces of the puzzle to say this is in the forefront of our officials, and they're saying it is a viable way of taking care of the debt structure of our country.
He does a free consultation for everyone. We're going to let you keep on calling here. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Get this information. You got to look at it and just to make up your own mind. Give him a call at 602-287-9200.
KFNX, currently ranked in the top 10 by Ranking Arizona. Listen to us worldwide at 1100KFNX.com.
The U.S. Senate has cleared the way for a compromise funding measure that will provide more than $1 billion to the fight against the Zika